Welcome to the Algona Wetland Preserve Design Workshop. I'm Saira Sierra with FutureWise. In this video, we will run through the instructions for completing the exercise number 3 activities. For the video, please use the sheets labeled exercise number 3 activities and the activities cutout sheet.
Hello everybody, my name is Danielle and I'll be facilitating this third discussion piece. This is a very engaging activity, gathering your ideas for what type of features or enhancements you would like to see at the wetland preserve. I'll start by describing what you're seeing here. In the lower right-hand corner near the beaver, you'll see a small map which shows where this wetland is located in the city of Algona. It's at the corner of Ellingston and Pacific. Ellingston is on the right-hand side of the drawing that you see, and Pacific is on the left-hand side. You can also see with the rectangles adjacent to the squares labeled with site, there are 2 pieces of land that are also a part of this wetland. The wetland is continuous onto those parcels, and those are currently in private ownership, but should the city somehow acquire those pieces of wetland, they may also become a part of this larger or be preserved as part of this Algona Wetland Preserve. Going up the page into the center, that's the current project site. It's owned by the city of Algona. It's an more than 8 acre wetland. There is a small stream channel that flows down the middle of it, or more or less the middle of it, and it flows towards the top of the page. I also wanted to zoom in and show you some of these icons. Some of the icons that you see represent benches for seating, bike parking, and bus parking. There's a boardwalk, which is an elevated walkway to keep people up off the wetland surface. Informational kiosks with information about birds or butterflies or insects, and that could change over time. The information could evolve. It could also be a display board for art. There's a icon for waste bins, a birding tower, a lookout spot. A lookout spot is a place that provides a view of the wetland, or maybe certain species within the wetland. We have an icon for native plants, just to promote planting activities, planting and maintenance, just different activities around native plant species. There's also some icons for educational signs. Those could be a little sign labeling a plant or a plant species or an ecosystem type, discussing different natural processes. There's a wide range of different signs that we could do. And then there's also an icon for picnic tables for locations for people to have a picnic. I also wanted to point out that there are blank icons, so you can draw your own icon and just label it, telling us what it is that your icon is representing. Give us some good ideas for some more imagery. And with that, let's go ahead and get started with an example design. So let's see here. Tori, if you were to design a trail, a boardwalk trail in this wetland, where would you put it?
Well, let's see. Right now, there's a elevated kind of dry area, which might be good for a trail that you could just walk in on. That's on the south side of the creek, which is on the kind of left center of our drawing. And one idea would be to think about a boardwalk that maybe branches off of that a little bit into the wetland to the south of the creek.
Okay, so we can go ahead and start drawing that in on our map.
Which way did you want that to branch, Tori?
Well, if you're already on the south side of the creek, it could kind of just branch off to the south. So kind of to the upper part of the picture that you've got. There you go.
Great. So now we've got our trail sketched in, and what else do we need? We could use a place for people to park their bikes. Kenna, where do you think a good bike parking would go?
I think a good bike parking place would be off of the less busy road. I'm not sure, maybe someone who's familiar with the site could tell me which road that would be.
Oh, that would be Pacific. Pacific has much less traffic on it.
Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
So can I take this bike parking icon and drag it right here at the beginning of my trail?
Perfect. Yes, that's a great place for a parking spot, a bike parking spot. Okay, so we've got a trail, we've got some bike parking. Does anybody have any other ideas that they'd like to suggest for this design?
One thing that I value about this type of site is that it gives me a quiet place to go. I feel like sometimes I get overwhelmed by urban environments, and so I would seek out a place where it's really quiet. So I was thinking it might be nice to have seating sort of interior to the wetland. Possibly I would like to add that to the end of our trail, and then maybe a bench over here. Maybe there's another bench here. And then one other thing I was thinking was it might be nice to complete the trails into loops so that you can kind of like take a stroll that is continuous. So I think I might add a bit more trail here. There.
Hannah, do you think, would that be maybe a boardwalk trail? Or one thing I wanted to suggest is that there's room here for different kinds of trails that are on the ground or elevated.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, I would like a on the ground trail for that loop.
Okay. Zara, do you have anything to add to this design?
Yes, going back to the values and what I want to see present in a wetland space is I want to know what kind of plants are part of this ecosystem. So I would really appreciate some educational signs, perhaps at different areas where there is critical habitat. There was mention of beavers and frogs and the different plants that are important for this ecosystem, and it would be really awesome to have those signs in those critical areas where those plants or animals may be present.
You know, there's actually quite a bit of beaver activity, in the corner. Oops, I can't grab the icon. Anyway, in the corner of the project,
I can move it.
near the heron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit of beaver activity there. In fact, there's beaver dams. And also there is a native Pacific yew tree at the intersection of the trail that would be a really great stopping point for young botanists to stop and see this. It's used to be very common, but it's somewhat uncommon now. Plant species.
Is it on here where I'm dropping it?
Yeah, there you go. It's right there.
So that tree exists, Danielle, on site?
Yes, it does.
Cool.
Yep. It's amazing.
For an educational sign, something that I value is our pictures. And so I would suggest that in the design of the educational signs, easy to read and pictures are present in the signs for them to be accessible to different reading abilities and for just quick glances or facts that can be thrown out in those educational materials that are present.
Great. So we could just go ahead and add a note.
And I guess part of the note that you're writing and a suggestion made is if I can't capture my idea into an icon, I can go ahead and write notes on my design.
Exactly.
To provide.
Mm-hmm. We can write notes. I also want to encourage everyone to to add color to their drawings, to cut out pictures and paste them on to the page. Feel free to be as creative as you want with these maps, and we're very excited to see them.
Thank you for tuning in. Now that you've watched this video, you're ready to begin your own design process. Please include other members of your household and have fun.
Thanks for watching. Check out the workshop website for instructions on how to participate. For updates on the project's progress, visit the project website. If you have questions, feel free to get in touch by sending an email to tiernan@futurewise.org.